On Thursday morning, Lake Charles community activist Willie King took Washington-Marion and Barbe High School students on a walking tour of Old Lake Charles. The tour began at the USS Orleck, which is being refurbished at a dock at the end of Enterprise Boulevard. Local residents working on the project hope to turn the World War II ship into a floating military museum. Guides took the students through different parts of the ship, such as the bridge and sonar room, and explained the different uses of the instruments during the war.
Without talking to people actually serving it. That's good.
This was before the days of the computers and the electronic stuff that was invented. You did something by like turning a knob or a crank, and it moves something, the electrical impulses that run through that by whatever setting you put on there mechanically.
Next, the students were taken to the end of Railroad Avenue. Calcasieu Parish Lieutenant James Stewart, who grew up in the area, explained how Railroad Avenue was a business hub before he was born and during his childhood.
At the end of the road by the bridge was Red Star Drugstore and a service station. Along this path, you had clothing stores, you had a fish market. This was like downtown Lake Charles before I was born. Actually, this was downtown Lake Charles. This railroad track, the main transportation for people that came into Lake Charles before airplanes became popular. If you look at the end of the road, where the road comes to an end, that's where the railroad depot was. Across the street from the railroad depot was a restaurant. What you standing in front of right now is this is a place where I loved to go to. This was a movie theater. This is where I first saw the movie Superfly, Shaft, Bruce Lee. I want you to imagine the Friend Lake Mall. You know when you walk in the mall, you see store next to store next to store. That's the way it was on Railroad Avenue. When it had a stopover to refuel or something, then the people would come on Railroad Avenue and shop. Also, the Lake Charles Police Department was on Railroad Avenue.
The students then traveled to the Lake Charles Airport to see refurbished World War II planes. King said students were required to take notes for a report on one of the sites, and the tour was meant to teach the students about the history of the city. For the American Press newspaper, I'm Vanessa Daggins.